This is a Mortarbox Media podcast. For more podcasts and to learn how we can help you create your own, visit mortarboxmedia.com.
Welcome to Women AF, a podcast hosted by three friends who are so sadly down one friend right now. There's some technical difficulties, and we do not have Danny with us, but we're hoping she pops in at some point, and we're just gonna forge through without her, no matter how sad we feel about it. Right, Nicole?
Yep. And we'll see how long this is, because
she's the one with the stories. I think everyone knows.
Yes. So we will see, but we're hoping she'll pop on. And if not, maybe we can talk with her some other time on social media or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. How's it going, Nicole? Oh, by the way, I'm Carrie and this is Nicole, and you already know that, but let's just be formal about it.
There we go.
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going? Tell me what's up.
Oh, well, okay. So it's been a couple weeks, but I feel like I haven't really talked to you since Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, new development in my house.
Tell me.
Yeah, my oldest is in the age when she's starting to understand that the turkeys that she drew that week prior to Thanksgiving, you know how you like draw all those turkeys and you learn about a turkey.
Did she trace her hand?
Yep, and she did the different colors and stuff.
Sure.
We also served turkey on Thanksgiving, too.
Yes, as you do.
As it happens. So there was at one point at the dinner where Jared, my husband's like, all right, a couple more bites of that turkey, Mally, please. And she turns and goes, wait, this is turkey? And Jared and I just looked at each other like, oh, shit.
It's all clicking for her suddenly, right?
What's happening? And she goes, wait, is it dead? And I go, yes, just eat it. Hey, look at that. Just eat it. And then later she's like, Mom, if it wasn't dead, it would be wiggling around in my tummy and it would be so funny. And I'm like, oh, dear God.
That's gross.
So I have to keep an eye on her and worrying that she may be like a serial killer eventually. So I'm just going to, if it happens, we all hear it here first.
For sure. No, I do remember, though, like my kids kind of having that moment of being like, wait, chicken? This is a food, but it's also an animal. And they're like, what's happening? I do remember that.
Yep.
Yeah. It comes as like a sudden realization.
Yep.
Well, that's kind of funny.
Oh, I know. It's ridiculous. How about you?
Well, it is early December, and I'm wondering if for you that might mean what it means in this house, which is our family elf shows up.
You do that?
Yes, for some ridiculous reason. Yes. So you don't have an elf?
No, I'm too nervous for that. I'm way too nervous.
I think that's the right call. It takes a lot of dedication and good memory, which I don't have either of those things. Like how many times has our elf just sort of hung out in the same place for like a night or two or three or four,
That works.
I'm literally like listening. Are my kids like, can they hear me? Because I don't.
Do they fully believe in it?
Fully buy in somehow still.
Do you use it with like if the elf looks and sees if you're misbehaving?
All
the whole shtick, right?
day long. Yes. I'm like, she can see you. Bella's looking at you right now. Her name's Bella.
Okay.
Yeah. But she showed up, what is it? Yesterday.
Yep.
And they still fully are believers 100%, which I think is so funny.
Oh.
She showed up wearing a mask. She's very like conscientious.
Oh, good for her.
I know, right? Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But that's, always a huge adventure in our house and interesting for me as well. Hey, guess what? Guess who's here? Hey, Danny.
Hey!
Yay, we're super happy to see you.
Cool. Me too.
We are complete.
Yes, finally. You popped in at just the right time.
Cool.
We're just talking about what's up with us and what's up with you, ma'am.
Can you see this bruise?
That's a good way to start off. But yes, I actually can completely see that bruise. What is that?
Okay. For anyone that's not watching us on Patreon, which you should be.
Yep.
But for anyone who's not, I have a bruise above my right eye, courtesy of my son.
Oh no.
On Monday night, we were all cozy in mom and dad's bed reading a book, me, Nova, and Phoenix. And I don't know if Phoenix wanted to go on to, because one was on each side. I don't know if Phoenix wanted to go over where Nova was or what happened, but he got up and he had a board book, those really hard toddler books.
Yep.
And he went like this.
At you?
Slammed it down with both hands, and the corner of it hit me right above the eye. Eyebrow.
Oh no.
And it hurt so bad that I immediately started bawling. But when I tell you, I need to describe this crying, it was like, so Daniel comes running in, he's in the kitchen, and he legitimately thought somebody had died because I was crying.
Oh no.
So it was a guttural cry. So intense that I actually started laughing while also crying, because I was laughing at how hard I was crying, because the amount of crying I was doing surprised me. But I think it was just such a reaction because it shocked me so much, and it simultaneously hurt so bad that I'm just like, and both the kids just kind of wandered away. They were
They don't
kind of
care.
we're gonna back slowly out of this room because we don't know what mom's doing. And so then that same night, Nova had to go to bed early because for the third night in a row, she just wouldn't eat dinner. And I mean, not nothing. She wouldn't try it. She wouldn't look at it. She wouldn't not a single bite. And so
that's
we were
tough.
all right, well, 3 nights in a row, you don't have to eat, but then you have to go to bed early because you can't just I'm hungry later, whatever.
Yeah.
So we put her to bed, and I said, "Do you know why you're going to bed early?" She goes, "Yes." And I just wanted to make sure. So I was like, "It's because for 3 nights in a row, you didn't eat anything at all." And she said, "Yes. Well, maybe tomorrow you can make something better, and then I'll eat it."
Ouch.
And this is right after my other kid hits me in the face with a board book.
Not a lot of love for mom going on that night, huh?
Oh my god.
Nope. And then River peed on my foot. So
Oh no, really?
yeah.
Wow.
Did you go to bed early too? Because I would have.
No, I went and I got some rum.
Good.
There you go. There
Better.
you go.
That's even better. Good
Yep.
for you.
So
I
that's
like
how
that.
my week's going. And then, clearly technical difficulties like crazy today.
Yeah. But you're here. You're here now.
I'm here.
It's all good
I am
now.
Here. Yeah.
Yay. We're really glad to see you because we were like, well, I don't know if we can come up with all the stories because Danny's the story lady.
Right?
Well, next week I expect both of you to have bruised foreheads and we can be a matching group.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes. All right. Well, who's excited about our topic today?
Me.
Oh, good.
I am.
I think it's going to be very interesting and entertaining. Today, we are kind of continuing our conversation from last week, which was about holidays and just sort of what we like or don't like or what we do for the holidays. And we're going to take it a step further and move past that like festive, merry feeling and move into like awkward, uncomfortable, embarrassing, and kind of those weird moments that happen when you all get together with your family for the holidays. So yeah, I think we're going to have some stuff that people can relate to, and I think it's going to be pretty fun.
Trying to keep up with the latest news and trends can be downright exhausting. And if you're anything like me, you log into your favorite news site and then go into a big rabbit hole and you forget why you're there. Well, Morning Brew is my favorite email that I receive every day. It's a quick 5-minute update on what is going on in the world, and it's witty and entertaining. They also have industry-specific newsletters like retail, marketing, and tech if, you want a quick update to that industry. And best of all, it's free. So if you want to sign up and stay informed without being overwhelmed, sign up for free by going to our website at womenafpodcast.com and clicking sponsors. Sign up for free Morning Brew newsletter today at womenafpodcast.com and click sponsors.
Like I said, we're going to be talking about what happens when we get together with extended family for the holidays and how sometimes it just gets weird and awkward, and we've all had those uncomfortable moments. Obviously, this maybe doesn't apply. It's not super relevant this year. We're maybe not going to be getting in those big groups of family like usual. But I think, it's sad. That's a sad thing, right? But I think maybe after some of these stories, we might be like, oh, hey, wait, silver lining. We don't have to deal with some of these weird, awkward moments.
Yes.
So you guys know what I'm talking about, right? You've had some weird holiday gathering, awkward family situations, yes?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes.
Well, does anyone have a great story to just kick it off? I mean, I can because I have.
Yeah,
I have one. It was. I want to say it was a Thanksgiving. Okay, and so all the family was there, and specifically, I was sitting with my aunt, who she and my uncle got married kind of later in life, and I didn't know her super well, but she was super sweet, very kind of conservative, religious, church going, just awesome lady, real chill. And I think I was sitting with her and my mom, and I had my laptop out because I had just gone on vacation with my now husband, but this was before we were married. So we were pretty new, and we just gone on our first vacation away together, right? So I'm just flipping through. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so here's this, and here's where we went this day, and this was really pretty, and click, and then it's just a picture of me and my boobs, and
Oh no.
Here's the thing, we had this series of photos because we thought we were being so silly and funny and taking pictures of each other so that items in the room kind of strategically hid our naughty parts. I was okay.
Austin Powers.
Yeah, I guess. I don't think that's how we thought of it. But yeah. I'd be okay, we're naked and go stand over there and I'll make this decorative plant cover you, and it just make it look funny. It was a funny thing. It wasn't a sexy thing or anything like that, right? We thought we were hilarious. And I think the picture specifically was of me holding cookies up. I had cookies. Just strategically covering my nipples.
Wait, this was to your aunt?
My aunt, who's the last person I would have wanted to see that, and I was just clamp that laptop lid shut, and she's oh yeah, So that was our vacation. It was pretty fun and stuff. So that's like, you don't just like roll through like your photos like on your phone or your laptop. I learned you just don't do that because you don't know what's in there.
You don't. No, learn to
So
be
Red right now, Carrie. I don't know if I've ever seen you this red, and it is so funny.
I feel very warm. But it's like, that was like, I brought the awkward that time. That wasn't even me being like, oh my God, my family's being weird. Like, I brought that and I had to own that, you know?
Can
I
you?
think we should post that picture to our social media page. Or maybe
I don't have that picture anymore.
Or just your aunt's reaction, just like reenact that. It doesn't have to be the picture, but you and your aunt just sitting next to each other, like, ah.
Or maybe for the $10 and up Patreon subscribers.
Yeah, that's special content for sure.
And you can use your special cookie recipe that we posted to Patreon.
That's a good idea. Oh man, full circle right there.
Yeah.
Full circle. At least it wasn't like, it was your blood aunt. It wasn't like,
Well,
your
I mean, no.
in-laws.
Well, yeah. I mean, she was married to my blood uncle, so
Okay, but it
I
was
mean,
your
whatever.
side. It wasn't like you were showing his side of the family or something.
That would have definitely been worse for sure.
I also like this whole blood aunt and blood uncle. It sounds like a cult.
It does. It's scary, actually.
Cookies.
Well, anyone else have anything or like, I was the weird one in that situation. Does anyone have like that one like creepy uncle, the legendary stereotypical creepy uncle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was thinking about it. So I have a couple. One that I'll
A couple
talk about.
creepy uncles?
Well, like, okay. Maybe I have one creepy and then one like conspiracy theory uncle who like
Interesting.
yeah. So I'll talk about my creepy uncle. So
Are they blood uncles?
no.
That's good.
But so one of them when I was a kid. So I've got a big Irish Italian family. And we always hang out, especially for I think Easter was the big one. We would get together with everybody. And, you know, we're Irish Italian. There's alcohol involved because why not? Love alcohol.
Wine, not.
Wine, beer.
Wine not.
Oh, I love that. And so I remember up until I think I was like 13, 14. So we didn't have a lot of cousins at that age. Like my brother and I were the oldest, and then we had another cousin right under us. So it was us three that were really like the young whippersnappers of the group, and we would all hang out. We would go in the backyard. If it was Easter, we would just all hang out. And we always like, I don't know, played baseball or some stupid shit in the backyard. And I swear there was like a time where for the point of when everybody arrived at the house, and then I think an hour and a half later, we would all be playing in the backyard, and one of my uncles would just meander in the back with us, and we'd be like, okay, this is, and we all knew like once Uncle Mark got in the backyard, like we ran as fast as we could, because he had a little bit to drink, and he would ask us questions that was like, do you love your mom? And I go, yes. Do you tell your mom you love her? I'm like, yes, I do. This is weird. This is getting really aggressively weird. And there were also points where he would chase us around the house, and he would grab our arms and walk us up to our parents and like pull on the back of our arms so that this is getting weird, where we had to tell, like he forced us to tell our moms and dads that we love them and that we care about them. otherwise he wouldn't let us go. And he would like keep pulling up the arms like higher and higher until we stopped. So that was when he caught us. We didn't let him catch us often. And also, my dad was very aware of whenever my Uncle Mark would get to this point. And so he would also circle. And like if my Uncle Mark would approach us, my dad would come from the other side of the house and be like, "Hey, I'm here too."
Oh, wow. Was that your dad's brother?
No.
Okay.
It was it was one of my mom's side.
Okay.
But he was
wow.
like distant enough where he wasn't necessarily like a sibling. He was just kind of off there.
Yeah.
So it was always like we loved getting together with everybody, but only, and no one believed me and my brother. Because like being a young kid, like no one's going to believe you or think it's weird that like an uncle is asking you if you love your mom. Like,
right. Like, how do you even explain that?
Yeah.
right. You don't. And you just think like, oh, that's just Mark. He's just being weird. Run away. Like,
Mark sounds really weird.
That's really creepy.
yes. So we were always on high alert. So that was my creepy story. I also have another uncle that he loves conspiracy theories. Like, I think he loves flat Earth. He
That's
probably
just
believes.
fun.
I know. And there was a point where when I first brought Jared to visit the family, he started talking with Jared all about how the Earth is flat, how he has maps to prove it, how all this stuff is real. And I remember like yelling at my dad, like, you have to go save him because he's been talking with my uncle for now 30 minutes and I don't know how to save him.
Saved him? No one jumped in there? Oh,
No, and he's just sitting there like, yeah, this is interesting. Okay. All right. Well, let's like, you're the only one that's talking to me. So let's at least talk.
Oh, wow.
Oh no. So
Although honestly, I might not hate getting into that conversation, you know, with a family member. It's at least a little interesting.
yeah, it's definitely.
It could go on too long, but
I think it also depends on the level of conspiracy theorists. Like, are you like tin hat conspiracy theorist where it's like they feel like they're saving you from something?
yeah,
right.
Be an aggressive,
that's true.
Yes.
right? Or like you just have to listen because if you say anything, they'll just like lose it on you.
Mm.
Right.
Was he
Or,
like
like-
that?
He was more like kind of, but he also didn't really understand social cues where like as you're trying to creep away, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, okay." You'd wrap it up. He'd just be like, "Let me continue." I'm
Yeah,
like, no,
yeah.
that's not what you do.
Yeah, that's pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh man.
Tell me someone else has a creepy uncle story, please. Let me not be alone with that.
My creepy uncle is dead now, so
Okay.
he was in jail after I was in 4th grade.
Oh, nice.
For doing big amounts of cocaine deals across state lines. So
Nice.
Boy.
but he was my super creepy uncle. And I don't have a lot of memories about him. I'm gonna say they're probably repressed, if I'm being totally honest, because he was like not a not a good kind of creepy. Not that there's a good kind,
Yeah.
but like a really bad. I went to therapy for a long time. Creepy.
That's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah.
So, but I'll let that lay dormant. And I will transition to a different kind of awkward. This is the first Christmas, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, which we all know my memory is not super reliable. So we're just gonna go with that. What I'm telling you is real and not at all embellished in any way.
We'll check in with your mom later. So
Yeah, she'll
As-
probably remember.
As we do. Okay.
So we were at Christmas on my dad's side, and as previously mentioned, my dad's side of the family is gigantic. There's
Yep.
like a lot of people. So he's got 7 siblings. They're all married. A bunch of them have kids. Some of them also have kids. So it was his youngest sister was hosting Christmas, which is one of like the people that regularly hosts because we really just go by who has the best hosting houses for people
Makes
to
sense.
park. So like usually
that.
get stuck with hosting a lot. But so Daniel and I, this is gonna sound like we're the creepy uncle. But we tend to like play with the kids. Like whenever we're at family events, like we bring games and like I don't know, we just like get along with like
You're like the fun aunt and
the
uncle.
yeah,
that, like yeah.
I like to
that's
think we're
different.
fun and not creepy.
It
There
can
you
be
go.
it can be a fine line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully we're on like the not creepy side of the fun line.
Hopefully.
I did, on a side note, I did have so Daniel's ex's daughter, so his stepdaughter, had we were at one of their family events and she kept being like, why do you always hang out with the teenagers? Why aren't you with the grown-ups? And I'm just like, okay, am I that transparent? And she's like, you just not feel like you know how to talk to them?
Wow. She was very like observant in a way.
Yeah. So anyway, cool. So we were playing with the kids. We were playing catch or something, but we were playing catch inside the house. And we were old
Supposed
enough
to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
And we were old enough that we should have known better. Because this is honestly probably like 7 years ago. It's not very long ago.
See, so you're a full ass grown ass adult.
Yes.
Okay.
I am in my late 20s and Daniel's in his mid 30s.
Okay.
So we knew better. So anyway, we are playing, and again, this is like his first time meeting the extended family.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're playing catch and we broke a Christmas ornament.
Oh no.
And maybe a sentimental one.
Oh.
So we picked it up and we were like, sorry, here you go. And like we felt really bad. So then we decided we were gonna play pool with their little pool table.
Oh no.
So we would not risk breaking anything else. And then so I asked my cousin, I was like, is it cool if we move the pool table away from the wall so that there's room to play around it? And she's like, I think that's fine. So we moved it, but apparently it was not okay at all. And we ended up causing a fight with my uncle and my dad.
Oh no.
What?
Because my uncle was so mad at us that we moved it, that he said some things, and I don't know exactly what he said, but whatever he said was bad enough that my dad felt like he had to come to our defense. And so my dad was so mad about it, we almost left.
Oh wow. Wait, really? That's
Yes.
crazy. Just because you moved a pool table?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And so so then we put it back and like the rest, and then we had the white elephant gift exchange after that, which was just, everything was awkward now. It didn't get better.
Okay.
But like even now, if I bring it up, my dad still gets mad. So I don't even know what my uncle said, but
Ooh, I'm curious.
Yeah.
apparently was not a nice thing to say.
Jeez, that's funny because in a lot of our stories so far, we seem to be the instigators of the awkward. That's not really how I pictured the conversation going.
No, and is anyone surprised that we're the instigators of the awkward though?
I guess not. That's kind of our thing.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I had it where I don't know if this is considered instigator, but in a Christmas when Mally was little, we went to a extended family Christmas. There were a lot of dogs around, and one of the dogs actually bit Mally in her arm. Do you remember this? I think I told you guys about this.
I feel like maybe.
Bit her forearm. She wasn't even like going towards the dog. She was passing through the door to get to either me or Jared.
Oh, man.
And the dog just like attacked her. And that was not the only dog that tried to nip at her too. And so being that she was bleeding and crying, we like took her aside, and then we had to figure out, like, do we leave? Because there's a lot of dogs here. Do we want this to continue to happen? And then we had to have the talk of, like, do we come back next year? Because the next year I was pregnant and I had the baby that was crawling around, and like, oh, that was stressful because
That sounds so stressful.
I know it was.
Yeah. Did Mally end up scared of dogs after that?
Well, a little bit. She kept on having nightmares of big dogs biting her, but thankfully we have a dog, so like she knows that not all of dogs are like that. So that helped.
That's good. Did they? I hope they were appropriately apologetic.
Kinda. Yeah, I think they were after a while. I think they were just embarrassed. Like, their dog was just scared of lots of people, like social anxiety kind of stuff, which makes sense.
Why did they bring their dog then?
Yeah.
I think because we hadn't, like, Mally was the youngest, so like it wasn't really thought of about little kids.
Yeah.
So it was very stressful. But
I feel like a lot of the awkward stressfulness moments come from like having little kids around, and they're like off their schedule completely. You know, when they need a schedule for sure. They're, they haven't been napping or whatever, and their food is different and their environment is different. And I think that's the cause of a lot of tough situations, honestly. Like, I'm thinking of Christmas at my mother-in-law's house when my daughter was just like a little crawler, and she has this big like shelf thing with all these shelves and all these like ceramic, like Christmas village stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like little shops and people and scenes all over, like this huge thing. And of course that's all my daughter wanted to go look at, and she was like tiny and clumsy, and she would just grab it, and she smashed like 3 of them. Oh no. Because like I couldn't anytime I put her down, that's exactly where she went, and I just couldn't like keep her away from him for 2 days in a row. And I felt terrible, but like what was going to happen there, put something in front of that, or don't put him down so low, or
right. Do you guys I feel like since I'm now a mom and I have to take care of 2 kids, social engagements are so stressful. Like, I feel like I don't talk to people. I feel like I'm constantly looking at my kid, making sure she's not ruining anything or biting, I don't know what, but like, oh my gosh. And then I feel like I need to have a de-stressor when I'm done with that event. Like,
it's not restful at all. That is the hardest thing, where you're just constantly trying to track them and make sure they're happy and not wrecking things. And that stage was so hard. It was so hard.
Last year, on my dad's side of the family, again, again, a lot of people. We were doing the white elephant gift exchange, and Nova was kind of sitting in the front, and she just kept screaming.
Oh no.
To the point where I probably roughly picked her up and like walked out. But like the way we were sitting, it's like the tables were in rows. We were at like a little community center because, again, there were so many people that we just decided to community center last year. And there was like rows of tables. And so we were in the front where everyone was opening things. And then there was like 4 rows of people behind us. So I picked her up and I just like go out because I'm so frustrated, and she won't stop screaming, and everyone's looking at us. And so then, of course, I pick her up. One of my smart ass cousin goes, "Oh, someone's in trouble." And I wanted to pick up a cookie and throw it at him, but I did not.
Good.
And, like, so I took her outside, and it's like super cold because, it's like January. I think we celebrated it late, and it's like a light drizzle, and there's snow on the ground. And like we go outside and it's quiet and she calms down. But like she was just so overwhelmed that she didn't know what to do. So she was screaming. And so it like wasn't her fault. But at the same
Right.
time, I was like, do you have to do this? Like, everybody. And since it was like a community center, it was just one big room. Like there was nowhere to go to escape the people if she was feeling overwhelmed, except for outside where it was cold and drizzling and whatever. So she calmed down, you know. But
yeah, I mean, toddler wrangling is hard just on any given day, but then if it's like a holiday family gathering, forget it. Like they're all out of whack. They've had all the sugar. Like they're just like there's presents. Forget it's just a recipe
there's so
for
many people.
disaster. Yes, and that leads to awkward moments. If I feel like it leads to like parental judging sort of situations.
yes.
You know, why can't you get your kid in order?
Stop screaming.
That kind of yeah. Do you guys have any like any of that judgy stuff? Like, you know, you always hear like the aunt will say, "So when are you gonna have kids?" or like, "When are you gonna get married?" or anything legit. Have you ever had to deal with anything like that?
When I was pregnant with Nova, I was getting asked when we were going to have our next kid.
Oh, hey, slow down.
It's like, can I have this one first? Thanks. Or, yeah, I don't even know how many times we got asked at Christmas in front of all the people, how many times are you going to have kids? Or how many times? Are you having kids? How many times I got asked, are you having kids? I did get a couple, you're diabetic, can you have kids? Which is even a more awkward
Weird.
Yeah.
And the first time I met Daniel's extended family, there's this one aunt in particular who I've only met the one time. She found out I was diabetic. And as this is happening, Daniel also happened to fall asleep on me. Like, so he's sleeping on my shoulder. It's the first time I'm meeting his family.
Oh,
He was
no.
working third shift. So to be fair, he hadn't probably slept in almost 24 hours at that point.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So he falls asleep. I'm like making conversations with his aunt and uncle. Thankfully, my sister-in-law, well, not yet sister-in-law, but thankfully she was there. She kind of was a nice buffer for me. But his aunt discovers I'm a diabetic. And so she starts telling me all the things that I can and cannot eat.
Now, was she a
that are
diabetic?
there.
Oh.
Nope.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh,
Yep.
no.
So she's like, oh, so all this food, so you can have that and you can have that, but you can't have this other thing and definitely don't have this thing and you're not allowed to have that. And I know all about a diabetic diet and you can eat these things. And I was just like,
Now, I assume she thought she was being really helpful. You know,
probably. Probably she thought that. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But were you just like, yeah, okay. How did you deal with it?
I'm still a little bitter about it.
Did you like
11,
try and
10
I feel
years
like
later.
I feel like I'd just be like poking Daniel, be like, "Get up, work up."
I was like,
Shut up.
okay, yep, got it. Thanks. Yeah, okay. And then it was awkward because we hadn't eaten yet. And so I knew that she was going to watch me eat.
Oh, yeah.
It's like so much worse if you know somebody's like over your shoulder eating. And of course, it's a holiday celebration. So it's not like there's a lot of vegetables.
Healthy
there.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
Oh,
just like,
no.
so what do I do here?
Oh, that's no good.
Oh no, I don't like that at all.
I was
No.
a fan.
Has anyone had like a weird politics argument or anything of that nature? Do you have like family members that completely have different viewpoints than you?
Yeah.
Danny, you're nodding.
I have specific
slowly.
people that I very much try to avoid.
Yes.
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 Or
yes.
if I hear them talking about politics, I'll very quickly get up and walk away.
That's good.
Because there's some
Yeah.
people you can have a political conversation with, and it's civil and it's fine, even if you have a difference of opinion. Like there are some people that like Like, I feel like we could all have that conversation, right? Like, we're not going
For
to
sure.
out on each other. There are some people that are not like that just kind of like lose it.
Yeah.
More and more and more as time goes by, too.
Right.
Like,
I
yeah.
have one in particular that it's like, I can't. I mean, I feel like there probably is somebody in every family group I could pick, but like there's one person in particular that comes to mind that like we can have a great conversation as long as nothing political or controversial or whatever comes up.
So what you're saying is you've had uncomfortable, like you've argued? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And even on he's somebody I argue with on Facebook also.
Fun. That's always fun.
Oh, that's fun.
Regularly. So it's like we know that we are about as opposite of the political spectrum as you can get.
Yeah.
So it seems to be better if we just avoid it.
Yep.
I was just going to try and figure out if I can remember the name of this game, but one of Jared's family's favorite thing to do at Thanksgiving is to play a board game, which sounds amazing and really fun. My first time going there, they pulled out this game, and I'm not going to remember the name of it, but it's very controversial. It's kind of like Apples to Apples, but it was political. It was like...
Was it Cards Against Humanity?
It kind of was, but it had a different name.
Okay. But that's kind of...
said?
Kinda. It's older than that. I don't know. I'm not going to... I'll
Trivial Pursuit.
No, but it like... it was very controversial, and like being that I think we played with, aunts and cousins and everybody, and being that person that had to pick between all of the cards that got to you, like you had, what is your worst date? And then like you get all these cards, and then you have to figure out like, oh crap. I think it was, you had to then tell who did which one. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
But it was very scary. I made Jared play with me. We teamed it because I'm like, I don't know these people. They're really nice, but I don't know them. I'm scared to death of people in general. And now you're asking me to like pick out what political party they are and like what their humor is. I can't do this on my first time.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so scary. Do you guys
not fun though?
It was after the fact. Thankfully, Jared was a champ and he mainly carried the team, but
good.
I was scared.
How stressful is trying to play board games with kids? Like when the kids are there.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like we've gone to family events where everyone wants to play a game and they want us to play too, but it's like,
but you have to like deal with the kids.
Yeah, it's like our kids are here. I'm not really sure how you expect me to be engaged in this game, like at all.
Yeah, I remember specifically like the first Christmas after my daughter was born. So she would have been like 1 month, not even. And she was colicky as heck. And we were playing some game, and it was kind of like a against the clock, like going, and it was like my turn, and I was going, and she was like screaming, and she was screaming, and like the car seaters, like wherever I set her, and they're like, your kid's screaming. I'm like, I got to do this. I got it. Like, and I wasn't even like, I was way more into the game than like dealing with my crying newborn.
That's awesome.
You got to do what you got to do,
You got to win that game.
And I needed a little fun, obviously.
Yeah. There you go.
I was like, someone else get her.
I love it. Your competitiveness came out.
Yeah, I did.
Someone else give her the cookies.
Is that what we're calling them now?
I think we should.
I found
cookies.
Oh Lord. No.
I found out the name is called Loaded Questions.
It might even be behind me.
I've played that.
Yeah, it's scary with relatives that you don't know.
Yeah, that's a good call. I could see how that would be not the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does anyone want me to kind of wrap up the conversation on another awkward family situation where my nudity was also involved?
Yes,
There's
please.
2 stories.
Yeah. I don't know
Carrie,
what's
get
going
your
on.
clothes
What's happening?
on.
Who are you?
Well,
happening?
I mean, this was different than the first one in that we were spending like holidays at my grandparents, and I took a shower, and getting out of the shower, I slipped and landed like my middle part of me, my stomach or whatever, landed super hard on the edge of the tub.
Oh, no.
Like I slipped and just landed on the tub. And you're laughing, which is
Oh, no.
super messed up.
I'm imagining it in my head, and it's so funny. And
Oh, it's very chaotic, right?
yeah.
So it knocked the wind out of me. So I like had no breath, coming in or out. And I'm laying on the bathroom floor, like naked out of the shower. And my grandpa clearly like heard the commotion, and he like runs in, and I'm just like laying there nude, and I'm like trying to say like, get out, go, I'm fine, go, but I can't even talk. Like, I'm like,
no.
and I'm just kind of waving my arms around like he probably thought I was having a seizure. Like, but I was so mortified and just naked, and my grandpa, and then I think, eventually my mom showed up, and he was just like, I don't know. And he just left. And she's like, what's going on?
Oh, no.
So, yeah,
Oh, my gosh.
those are my,
That is hilarious.
once again, I bring the awkward to the family gathering.
And the nudity.
And the nudity.
The family gathering. What else do you need at a family gathering?
Right, that's it.
Awkward nudity.
Yep.
That's all you need.
Bright red again.
Those stories, they get me going.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm glad I could share them with you guys.
I'm glad,
and
too.
it's just us. Nobody else will hear them.
It's fine. Yeah.
I don't know. I think people listen to this, actually. Believe it or not.
Oh,
It's fine. No.
fine, Carrie. Don't get secrets.
No, I think any listeners who are listening should actually tell us their awkward family gathering stories, because, I mean, these have been great. And we want to hear more. We definitely want to hear more. We know you've got some good ones out there, whether they're uncomfortable, creepy uncle type things or just funny as heck. We want to know. So email us, womenafpodcast.com, or nope, not correct. womenafpodcast@gmail.com. That's our email. On a roll. And you can also hit us up on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, and it's all Women AF Podcast, right?
Yes.
It's been a while since I did this. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And if you want to see how red my face is right now and watch the videos, you need to join us on Patreon. Go to womenafpodcast.com/Patreon. We've got different.
Nope, that's
damn it. women.
Patreon.com
/women.
AF podcast.
There you go.
That makes more sense, I guess. Yeah. I'm old. Yeah, stop. All right. But, I mean, if you want to find us, you can find us, and you can tell us your story. Just Women AF Podcast, find us. And we're Women AF, and we know you are too. Women AF is produced by Mortarbox Media and engineered by Adam Rostad. Intro and outro music is SQZ by Shane Ivers. Check him out at silvermansound.com. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a review.